Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today, we're back for a new Forza Horizon 4 video, one I never thought I'd make on this game. Today, we're going to go with the Toyota Supra, which has just been added to the game with the latest update. The Eliminator Championship arrives now. You can get this car for free in two ways by participating once in an Eliminator event. Otherwise, you can buy it at the dealership for about 250,000 credits. So the car is indeed quickly obtainable by everyone. No need to buy a season pass, no need to buy anything paid in the game, everyone can have it. And that, frankly, it's really pleasing on the part of Playground Games to have really put this model for free. Because I think they could have made it paid and a lot of people would have paid for it. For once, they made it free. I suggest we take a leisurely video ride with this car. So now, we're going to drive it a little bit in its original state, just to show you a bit of what it's capable of. And then, I think we're going to quickly go improve it, so we can drive it as long as possible. In this video, improve this car significantly, as it has much more room for improvement in this game compared to Horizon 3, 2, and 1. Here's the Supra Mark IV, whose sound, unfortunately, is quite special. I'll let you listen to this. A sound, well, it doesn't really remind me of a real Supra sound. The thing is, in fact, these models, the Supra Mark IV now, the models that remain in good condition are often quite modified models, or at least they don't necessarily have the original sounds. This suggests that for the sound recording at Playground, they might have used a modified Supra, or one that wasn't fully equipped. As a result, we may not achieve the distinctive sound typically associated with the Supra. We have more clearly a 6-cylinder diesel engine sound. In fact, except when we really start to rev up, where it clears up a bit. But anyway, in any case, we have the Supra, it's beautiful. I just changed the rims on it because I think anyway, I'm going to leave it like that. You'll see there are quite a few aesthetic kits on it too. But I think this Supra, it doesn't need anything more. I know some say Supra, but I say Supra because I'm a big idiot. But there you have it. This car absolutely needs nothing to be at the top. And I think that's what people love. At least personally, that's my thing. On the Ford ZA, it's about driving with maxed out Supras, but with the exterior completely original. It's always fun to outpace Veyrons or Koenigsegg's. 1.1 in drag. In this game, the car may not look mini from the outside. Here's a brief glimpse of the interior as well. After that, we'll boost it. That's it. Classic right-hand drive, speedometer up to 111.85 miles H standard. And then, there we go, we find our little Supra that we had left on Horizon. There you go. I'm unsure if more Toyotas will be added to the game. Some people were disappointed by this. So to speak, for now. Well, even if, for me, the major of the Eliminator is really a good major, for once, I'm having fun on the mode. The cars are cool. I know there are people who are disappointed because, in the end, we only have one Toyota and we only have the Supra. I understand there were people anticipating the release of vehicles like the MR2 Chaser and some Lexus models. It's true that, for once, ultimately it's not Toyota that's back, it's the Supra that has returned. Anyway, I'm going to show you some of the improvements. Obviously, we have swaps, so I'm going to explain to you why we don't swap, because, quite simply, I believe there are no swaps in this game, which allows for more power than what we can get with the base engine. They treated us well there. You'll see the improvements on the car. That's what I was told in the chat when I did my live on the Eliminator, if I'm not mistaken. I was told you're going to see this car. No need to swap it, since without swap, it's monstrous. So, we'll see. I hope that will be the case. Apparently, we can get around 1,500 horses. So, already there. How much have we won? Okay, already there. Already here. Added 215 kilowatts. I think the turbo will also play a role. Okay. The 500 kW turbo adds 650 horsepower by itself. So yes, indeed, 1,194 kilowatts. So I tell you what that does in horses. Right away, I use the little Google calculator. Isn't it our great friend, the Google calculator? That gives us 1,620 horses. There you have it for 1,500 kilograms. Knowing that, I believe none of the swaps. He signs among them to have as much. The V8 C-Lit 2 does around 1,000. The Turbo Rally, it does around 700 horses. The Racing 5, 8, it does 1,400. And the 512 C-Lit 1. I don't really know where it comes from. It might be a 512 Ferrari, but there's nothing at Ferrari that allows you to go that high in power. So clearly here, we are still on a rather angry missile. I don't know many cars in the game that are as powerful. Clearly, you may remember the top I did at the time of the most powerful cars in the game. If I had to do it again now, the Supra would have its place. Clearly because it's overpowered. So, I'm going to show you a little bit. The various improvements. It's funny that it's overpowered, but doesn't increase much in Indisperf. We're stuck in S. We switch to S2. By changing the rubber, 0 to 100 in 3.6 seconds. That doesn't seem crazy for 1,600 horses. I believe it's because we possess such immense power that it's going to lose grip. If we put on the drag tires now, we'll gain 1.5 seconds and a significant increase in top speed. But well, there you go. I'm going to keep some grip, otherwise for the ride it's going to be complicated. So I'm showing you the body kits as well, or rather, the body parts. They've added kits. Personally, I'm not going to customize it. As I was saying earlier, for me, the Supra, it's perfect when it's boosted, but originally on the outside, I find it really beautiful. And they've added some additional kits that weren't available before on Forza. It's 3 kits already, the 3 Forza kits, and I don't know, maybe one of the other kits. I couldn't say. I honestly don't remember everything the same. In terms of wings, there might be some small new features. Well, after that, we either like it or we don't, of course. But there's a way. So, wait, I'm just looking a bit. We can make him win. So I'm going to calculate that directly so it will be done. We can make him gain 30 points of disperfondance by changing the body parts. So basically S930 without the 4-wheel drive. By the way, nice, for once, the Forza kit. They make shapes, they do some daring stuff. That's what they could honestly do. On all cars. Well, on all cars. On a few additional ones. I believe stylish customs can be just as good as brands. I'll share some nice examples with you. On the Passat, it takes 4-wheel drive only 2.1 seconds to go from 0 to 100. I'll just show you out of curiosity. So, wait, I'm looking with Rogue tires. 1 second. 5. Well, there you go after. To each their own, and personally, the Supra. For me, it's a proposal, but there you go. To each their own. I don't judge me. We recorded this to the A. I have lateral indeed good, after monstrous power of 1,200 kilowatts. In the end, I don't know why all this. It was marked 1,194, we have 1,200 years, so 1,632 horses. I refused his weighting method and will check our 1,194. Yes, that's the weight per one, 220.462 pounds. Okay, settings, we're going. The rule is quickly done. I'm raising it up a little bit, because now, with the firmer suspension, it also lowered it, raised it a little bit different and all that. We're not going to change too much. I'm just looking at the ratios by 520. What? 520? But it won't have 520, I'm telling you. The game's aerodynamics make it so that, anyway, you can't have speeds like that. We can hit 430, we can hit 440, 442 downhill, but 520. When it marks you, all that like that, it's absolutely beside the point. So, but here we are, listen, we are ready for a little ride. A ride that is going to be, I think, sporty, isn't it? There you go. So, since we can go a little higher with the generations we've made, the sound is a bit closer to what we had before. Then again, I tell you, I'm not necessarily an expert on the sound of the Supra. I know it mainly through the games. It's true that on all the games, it makes pretty much the same sound. The thing is, they could very well have used a Supra that is no longer original or very little original. So, a sound that is not at all classic. For now, I don't access too much, I keep myself, I don't spoil myself to talk. Up to the highway to go into eco-driving. 136th. And there, the torque, yes. I don't know if you saw, it has almost 1,800 meters of torque, which is worthy of a small truck. From 1. To say that it's not going to struggle. Accelerate. You're going straight to see the power to take off when you accelerate. Jade is on the highway. And hit. A good big family recovery. Because we're going, I think, not to have fun. She is really beautiful. So, same thing. In terms of colors, there are about 7 or 8 different base colors available. When you go to pick up the Supra, if you're like me, you win it. An Eliminator. The car will be painted in a manufacturer's blue, which I'm changing. This shade of blue is perfect for a gray car like that, honestly. I'm not necessarily a fanboy of Toyota. I'm not necessarily a fanboy of the Supra. But the moment I have it on a game, I love it. It's always like that. And it's something that I would really like to drive in real life, that... For once, just for the sound and to say I've driven a Supra. And for the look of the thing, the back, the front too, but the back especially. It's insane. This car's really beautiful. Anyway, I'm going to stop raving. We're going to quickly do a little sprint. I think it's going to be fun. Already seen the potato there? I think it's going to be a good drift box, that too. What are we doing? We're doing a standing start? We're going to burn so much, guys. Wait, how? How not to burn too much? It's impossible. Ouch. The monster. Oh my god. However, as a result, she doesn't necessarily have a crazy flu. Necessarily. Oh my, the acceleration she has. So, the thing is, however, at this speed, you don't have enough support to really hold it properly. Hop! There's really a crazy overboosted acceleration. And you see, we're still stuck at 440. Because the game is like that, actually. I couldn't really exceed that level. Except for a few cars, which are really very few in number. It's still brutal. The driving physics seems identical to Horizon 3, with no significant modifications. For this model, it really looks a lot like it. Even Horizon 2, not long ago, I redid it. It's pretty much the same thrill with the overpowered turbo, all by itself. In total, I think it adds around 700 horsepower. Once you reach 5,000 revolutions per minute, you lose grip and it's impossible to accelerate without losing traction, regardless of the gear you're in, whether it's first, second, third, or fourth. It's so violent, it's still a crate, this car, a crazy piece. We're going to do a little recovery at 130. You'll see, I'm going to put it in fourth, at 130. I'm sure I'm buttering. Even there, I have to accelerate at 2%, otherwise I take off like this. There! Oops. We're going to put a fourth. Do we butter a fourth? Light, I was going to say lightly, but more than lightly. From 100 to 200, how long? It's incredible, and even there, we don't have the flu. What do you have? I want to test something anyway. I want to test with the drag tires, because there, unfortunately, we lose a lot in efficiency and acceleration because of and due to the grip that we don't actually have. So, the problem is that with the drag tires, we're going to have even less grip. For the turn, let's say, but for the pure straight line, it might do the trick. We're going to test it like this for science to see what it might yield. Personal improvement. So, here, we might lose a little bit of performance, although no, not even we gain in performance. Normally, drag tires reduce performance. Language N, 25 points. Okay, why not? Why not? I don't even know if that really changes anything. I'm afraid it might not go very well anyway. Well, I find it amusing. Cars that are, let's say, hard to drive. I much prefer a 1600 horsepower Supra, which slides, which is hard to get back and all, but where you don't get bored. Actually, do you prefer that over a too efficient box on Horizon? On Motorsport, I wouldn't say the same, but you see, we regain the grip sitting down. Yeah, okay, it's one team in this car, it's a rocket. We have to try something. We have to try something. After all, it's the dredge, the behemoth. We're going to take stock of the boots. We're going to put them in big trouble to see a little bit what kind of car they're coming out with. I'm not going to adjust the, let's say, I don't know how to say the others, the test. We're going to launch it like that in Retro Sports, by the way. Okay, so in the same category, clear 7 times that Air 34, also German. R32, and then maybe do the 10s, also we'll do the 8s. Please provide more context. The input text is incomplete and unclear. It's because I had done that on Horizon 3, precisely because we were going to have the RXs. Why did I put the Supra and the Air 34? We had a little race like that. Quieter end, it was a little race. I did a little comparison, and it's true that I was waiting for the Supra to do that because a video on the Japanese from the 90s, 2000, we'll get tired of it. It's sad. Well, so there, my opinion to whatever. Yes, they are four-wheel drive. After it's over, it's not worth it, but the Air 34 took good advantage of the four-wheel drive in a nice try. Even so, it's one of the best accelerations in the game. Very clearly. It's one of the best. It's not the best. I've seen even more brake on the game in terms of acceleration, but it's, I think, in the top 10. One for the 0 to 400 with the rule tires. Without the rule tires, we lose too much in efficiency, but let's say it's for the thrill. It's still quite a banal. Too bad it wasn't added to the base game. Too bad they only had the activities that Toyota for Ganto Ismo, because I think we would have done a lot of tests with it. It's really not a very good circuit car, but it's a very good cruising car. It's funny, it's often like that. It's rarely the most efficient cars that are the most fun to drive. We'll switch back to regular tires for now, and then go on a bit of a journey. A bit more winding, though, just to enjoy a bit. With roads a bit different than straight lines, at least. I would like to show the acceleration. I would have liked to show how much they can blow. Don't try to race this car against a Ferrari Evo. You will definitely lose. Don't put it against a GT End or something like that, because you have no chance. Unless it's the straight line and you're in full rule there, it would still be quite tight. I think, well, there you go, as I said, as I've been saying since the start of this video. For those who don't necessarily know this car, who don't necessarily, don't really understand. The hype, there you go. Just know that if you test this model, don't go thinking that you're going to see the best car for doing ranked. And that's why people want it in. People want it just because it's a legendary model. Hapu. So, and this has been the case for years. Even back in the days of FH3, FH2, I know that this car is already extremely appreciated by most players. Which route should we take? We can go this way or take one of the other highway exits. Sorry to interrupt. We will have a bit more than 2 landscapes to look at, even if, well, there you go. That's what was also said earlier live. What would have been really perfect? It's a new map to explore with the Supra. And there, it would have been 20 out of 20, the update between the eliminated Tort, which is really good. In the end, I find the cars that translated me with the 17, which are really good. Also, I find some French Renaults, very good car, in any case, the Supra. And we have a small new map, or just an update, the current maps, and that would have been excellent. But still, it remains a very good match anyway. The sentences are a bit insufficient, let's say it like that, damn. The violence. This turbo kick in the ass. Well, hold on. It's that he's Nordic. It's been a long time since the dads went down. Avatar him. Whoa, hop. He made me realize that to drift, you don't have to do anything special. Just slow down a bit at the turn entrance. Big throttle and hop to drift. Same as those who are used to drifting with Mustangs, R-N-T-R. It's really another style of right, let's say clearly. But even there, in 4th and 5th, you give it a throttle and hop, it drifts, it's really monstrous as a car. Hop perfect. That, I'm coming a bit strong, but well, it works. I much prefer this over any car I've recently driven in the game, except perhaps the Ferraris. 512S. Why doesn't it have the Pista, which was nice for a ride? The TGT fin and some recently added models designed primarily for cruising were also mentioned. Unlike the last 5-6 updates, which were really cars. Well, updates while they contained cars. Pretty cheated for Rocket. Now, we're going to say that at the moment, he's thinking more about players, cruising. And there, as a result, it's a real treat. There, just a shame. Little bit of extra map, and nickel hop. We'll get back a little in victory. I know the Interplane isn't necessarily your preferred one to watch in video. It's the best for driving, but I understand for videos, not necessarily. Whew, that. We hear the sound of 5.6 turbocharged direct injection better. They grafted us onto this model, it's like that. I want to say equality with the Air 34 and with the Air X7, which all three have. So, with the Sup, they are still quite far from reality, at least far from what we can believe. Compared to these models, what I recall is that the Nissan 34, it's the RX-7, it's a bit like the Supra. These cars are rare to find in their original condition. This is due to reasons of reliability or sometimes things that are replaced or improved, either for custom reasons. Simply, these are cars that are appreciated in import, especially by the Americans who love these cars for customizing. And so I think it's going to be very difficult to try to find a car like this, completely original, to record its sound. Much more. Maybe it was 5 or 6 years ago where it could still be found there. As time passes, original models like that become increasingly rare. While it may be somewhat excusable for these models to have limitations, it is less excusable for them to produce sounds. Completely smoked on cars that are all brand new, that are available at the dealership at the end of the street, that's a bit more stupid. As we wrap up this video, I hope you found it enjoyable. Of course, if that's the case, don't hesitate as usual to leave a like, leave a little comment. So, first of all, why not talk to me a little bit about the Sup? Race was making adjustments like that to propose. But above all, let's say if you are more in the camp, completely was by this model, in the genre. You were part of the people who, before, could have said, I don't buy the game because she doesn't have the Sup. Don't hesitate to tell me if, on the contrary, you're more in mode it's a car, you're a bit in OSEF mode, and that, you understand, you don't take at all. In fact, people who didn't take the game just because she's not too much. That, for example, don't hesitate to tell me in the comments. Think about subscribing or liking this video if you wish. Find me on Twitch for my lives. Link in the description and comments. Support me by watching an ad through my Utip link or buy cheap games using my affiliate link, which helps my YouTube channel. And to finish, obviously members support the join button under this video. I also take this opportunity to remind you that I am on Facebook and Twitter, and that you can find me on these two networks as well. Check out the links below this video. They may be helpful for planning your social media live streams using polls. What does it mean that you can directly choose the games you want to see on my live channel? I'm cutting off life very soon. Ciao, hello everyone, and have a good walk with his Sup. Roach, suppose. Ciao.